Are y'all excited? Because I am, because it's back. I'm back. So, welcome back, y'all. Oh my gosh, it's been over a year. Because what? Yo, life be life, and let me just start off with that. So, really, what we doing in this episode, we just gonna catch up. I really can't believe it's been over a year since my last episode, and I just want to first, thanks for rocking with me. And what really is getting me back to doing this is obviously the Lord. I just feel like He has been placing it on my heart to get back to this, and I understand why. I know why. I know this was always His assignment for me. This is one of the assignments that I have, is just to speak. And this is completely out of my comfort zone. I don't like being on camera, so that's one thing. And then just putting myself back out there and actually putting my face out there this time. It's been something. And just it was a lot of things that I know the enemy was really trying to get me, my insecurities and stuff, because y'all know my story. So it's still some and if you don't, check out episode 101. But just that stuff, I feel like you never really 100% get over trauma or betrayal or whatever. So it's little things that come back up randomly. And so insecurity was one of them, and I didn't even realize that I was as insecure as I thought. I didn't think I was. I never had an issue with being secure. So I just came out the gate swinging. If this is your first time checking in with me, my name is Amber. I obviously am the host here. I say here, Lord. The host of Let's Talk About It, the podcast. Again, I've been off doing this thing for over a year. Last episode was in March of 2023. It is April 2024. As y'all can see too, that I'm in my salon suite. We're gonna get to that, but just God is good. So yeah, this podcast, I'm catching y'all up, and then we're gonna get the ball rolling from here. But yeah, so it was just the insecurities are just coming up, and I didn't even realize. And I actually was fasting, and I was watching this this sermon, and I don't remember what it was called, but it was by Jerry Flowers, and he was saying something in that fast, I really was just Lord, whatever it is you got to talk to me about, tell me whatever. I allow you to, just, help me. So he said, he said something about a podcast, and you're complaining that you don't have the equipment. I'm wow, because I literally, for the past 2 months, maybe I'm going to say since the beginning of January, I knew I wanted to get back on my podcasting, but it was just I wanted it to be this nice old lighting, production, camera, microphones, all of that, studio, all of that. And really, it was just I also remember hearing way before this, you have what you need for what He's telling you to do. I have a phone, I got this mic, and I have a studio, a suite. So it was really, he was saying that you always have to have a conversation or a counsel, whatever, with your insecurities before you do anything that God is telling you to do. Before when God tells you to do something, before you're obedient to do it, you got to make sure your insecurities are all, you have to make sure y'all are all aligned. So I was dang, I didn't even think of that. That is so true. I always, if my hair isn't done, or my face, because baby, me and my skin, we be fighting for real. But I'm yo, relax. Ain't nobody looking at you that hard. You're okay. Just do what He tells you to do, because he doesn't ask us to strive for perfection. He wants obedience, and He wants it done in excellence. And that's how I'm here now. At this point, y'all gonna get what y'all get. We're gonna get I'm not editing. I don't feel like editing anymore. I don't feel like trying to make this thing perfect. I don't care to go off a script. I don't care. I'm just gonna come here, turn the camera on, hook this mic up, and then when the time comes, it'll be a bigger production. But right now, I know that God just needs me to start talking again. Because when I tell you, I done learned so much. I done been through enough. And on top of what I've been went through before, it was other stuff I went through. It wasn't trauma based, I would say. It wasn't like quote unquote trauma based, but there was some stuff that God taught me in the midst of all of that too. So we're gonna talk about it. So today, like I said, we just catching up. So I'm gonna start off from when last year nothing really happened. I think it was just I don't think I had anything else to talk about in that season, right? I think that's just what it was that made me kind of stop. And I think also trying to stay on top of it was hard. The editing was annoying, and I'm not even gonna lie, that's why I'm not editing nothing in here. Y'all just gonna get what y'all get. The editing was annoying. Trying to figure out how to sculpt the episode, and it was just a lot, and I just didn't want to deal with it. So then so y'all know I moved out my parents' house, and so in June of 2023 I ended up moving back and opening my own salon suite. So I am also an entrepreneur. I have my own business. Glory to God. This is the new testimony, okay? This is an add-on from my other testimonies. But so I have this, I'm a whole business owner. What? A salon owner? What? Never even wanted to do any of that. Growing up, my mom, I was like, you gonna have your own salon? I said, sweetheart, no, I'm not, because I didn't want the responsibility. I didn't want all of that stuff. The stuff that comes with owning a business is ridiculous. Hold on, let me lock this door. I don't want nobody even accidentally coming in here. I put this curtain up so that can't nobody see me either, because I ain't got time. I don't need nobody being nosy in my face or nothing like that. So anyway, but yeah, so she would always say that, and I'm like, no ma'am, it's just not happening. Literally throughout my life, even when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, all the what I look like owning a business. So I knew that I wanted to do that back in November of 22, because last year, back in November of 22, and I guess I didn't talk about this on the podcast. I don't remember if I did or not, but I knew that when I moved back, because I wasn't staying where I moved to. I don't even know if I told you where I moved to, but I don't really feel like locating myself. But I didn't, when I moved out, it just was a terrible time. But looking back, it was necessary for my healing. It was necessary for God to do a work in me. Man, when I tell you, it was necessary. And so so back, November of 22, I knew that I wanted to do this. So when I was moving back, my initial plans were to come back, living with my parents, and then work at the shop located in my hometown, and then 3 months later, August, September, start this. And so me and my old boss, my business mentor, /business mentor, was talking back in May of 23, and the transition for me moving from that shop to back to the one in my hometown, we were just this ain't working. Something is not working, because the enemy was really trying to pry our relationship, because it was stuff that she was how are you feeling, and then just the things that she felt how I felt was just not off. I don't even remember exactly what it was, because it was just no, I never said that, and I don't think that. So it was just the enemy putting stuff in her mind, thinking that I wasn't happy with the decisions that we were making to transfer me back, and that was not the case at all. So so then we was talking, and she was just because the reason why I wanted to come back to this shop before I did this was because living by yourself in 2023, 2024, by yourself, paying rent, paying utilities, paying the Wi-Fi bill, paying gas, groceries, you paying, if you're going to the gym, you paying like all of these expenses that I'm paying by myself, health insurance, because bro, why, when you turn 26, the day you turn 26, you no longer insured on your parents' insurance? I feel like that is the most trash thing ever, because my dad, a year later, didn't even know that I wasn't even on his insurance anymore. Like, why are you? I feel like our parents should choose, because I was paying $320 a month on top of $1,251 in rent, on top of $60 or $70, bro, and then Dominion, and oh my gosh, like it was just so much. And so I was not stewarding correctly. I wasn't stewarding my money correctly. So I got myself back into debt. I'm about to, whatever, I took out another loan because I just needed the help. And that's another thing. So instead of like asking for help, I just put it upon myself. And now I'm paying it back. We're going to get to that too. I took out a loan, started racking up my credit cards when I knew it was time for me to come back. Because I was like, I'm going to just, this is so stupid now that I think about it. I'm going to just pay it back for the summertime when I'm like working at the salon in my hometown. So that's what I was thinking. But that's not what happened. So we were talking, and so I was telling her about like the financial part of the reason why I wanted to move back. And so she was like, wait, so the reason why you want to come back and work for me here is because of finances? I was like, yeah, like logically, I mean, that makes sense, right? If I'm trying to make sure that I'm stable enough, I could save some money and stuff for me opening up a business, because that's not cheap. It ain't cheap. Maintaining a business ain't cheap, but that's a whole nother story. So I was like, yeah. She was like, well, that kind of means that's just showing that you don't trust God. And I said, excuse me. I was like, okay. I could see that I think that is one thing that was helping me with my faith when it came to this, because I'm like I didn't think that I wanted to open it that soon, but the conversation we just had, it was just like, because even when we were talking about her business, and her business is beautiful, I love the vision, I still support, still help out, whatever I can do, and I'm so grateful that I have that opportunity to be able to do that. Like, God is so good. I can't wait to get through I'm trying to get through this whole thing so I can get to the parts that I really, really want to talk about. So she was like, no, we were just like, it was just a mutual agreement. Like, no, I think it's time, like, when you move back, that you need to start this. And she was like, the same customers that you were going to have in September are the same customers that you're going to have in June. And if it's God, because the way that everything was just leading up to me doing this, it was so smooth. There was no like hiccups in it, right? Everything, I was just excited. Like, I was excited about the people that I'm gonna have in my chair, the experience. Like, I was just so excited. I was like, okay, God, so that means like you about to do this. All right, bet. We had 3 weeks before I moved back to get this thing together. We had to find a place. I had to pay for it. Mind you, I had no savings. I'm in debt. And I'm about to start a business with no clientele. Remember all of that. No clientele, no savings, in debt. All right. So end up starting it back in June 13th, 2023 is my date that I'm going to go by. So we almost there. We almost at a year, y'all. Make some noise. What? That was so... Anyway, almost at a year, and I'm so excited. Just glory to God. Seriously. So yeah, moved, transitioned, started this. First week, I had 4 appointments. I posted about me opening this a week before I actually opened it, and I had 4 appointments the first week. It was just, the transition was just amazing, right? So that first week, I'm used to working 24/7. Literally, I'm always doing something, and I was always used to that. First 6 months of the business, oh, absolutely not. Oh no, I had 4, 5, probably 4 days off sometimes a week. I'm like, Lord, I don't have no money to go do anything. So you just having me sit here. What happened to the overflow that you said I was going to get? I'm not understanding. Like, you promised the overflow. You promised the salon. You the one that had me do this. I did this out on faith. And I'm not making any money. Like, everything that I'm making, I have to give back to all these daggone lenders. And so I'm going to start off with the financial part. When I started to realize that I'm making absolutely not a dollar. Me personally, the business making money. I'm not. Because the money that the business is making, I have to give away. If I had 5 appointments the week before and I have 1 appointment the next week, that money I made with those 5 appointments, I have to pay bills with that other one, so I don't even see the money. And I'm like, God, this is annoying. This is annoying. I'm tired. I'm not understanding. I mean, you promised overflow. You have me do this, so why am I struggling? I don't understand why I have to struggle when it's something that you're telling me to do. And so that was and so I was like, I'm tired. Like, I don't see my fruit. Like, I don't see the fruition. Is that the word? I don't see the produce of the fruit that I'm planting. I don't see the seeds. I don't see the harvest. I don't see anything that what you're talking about. And I was like, you know what, Lord? But that's what the enemy did. He tried to place doubt in my mind, because then I remembered back in May when I was just so excited. I'm not going to let the enemy steal my joy for this. If this is what God had for me, obviously it's a process before the promise, right? And it's not always about the promise. It's about the process. And I had to learn that, because I'm like, yeah, Lord, you promised overflow. And so, but when I look back, because now I'll be ready for overflow. Back then, I had no idea what it meant to own a business, taxes, paying myself, all of that is coming into play now. In April of 2024, I finally have myself on payroll. I finally am actually paying myself, organizing my finances, trying to get business strategies, marketing, all of that. I'm learning that now. Ain't no way I was going to be able to handle any of that. And I say all that to say that we ask God for these things, and he gives us a promise, but he doesn't tell us how he's going to get us there. It was 1 week in October, and I remember, I will never forget this. I will never, ever, ever forget this, right? This is the huge part that was just I get it now, right? So from June, July, August, September, right? I mean, the business was doing well. For me to be open, and I'm I had to remind myself too, bro, this only been open for 4 months. You're not lacking, right? Everything that I needed, God provided. He provided the clients. If he didn't provide the clients, he provided the opportunities for me to make money, right? But this was I'm kind of speeding up, but he did, and I'm gonna explain why now. So in October, y'all, it was 1 week where I had not one client. Not one. Mind you, remember, I don't have any savings, right? Remember, I'm just making money to give back to these lenders and all of that. I have not an extra dime in my pocket. I had 2 bills due. I had my credit card bill due, and I had my suite rent due. All in the same week. I had enough money to pay one of them. Not both, just one. Credit card came first. That Friday was my rent for here. And so I was like, hold on, I think I gotta remember the timeline. So I think before, no. Okay, so I'm saying it right. So I had the money. Oh, no, I gotta go back. I gotta backtrack. Hold on. So before that week, right, I was at church, and I think this is August, September, something like that. But I was hearing around this time, everybody just saying that I needed to trust God. And I'm like, okay, like I hear you, like I'm listening. Like I just feel like that's how God, I know how God talks to me. He talks to me through people, of course through his word, but especially like to get it to me, I hear it over and over and over. And so I kept hearing that. And so I go to God like, sir, Lord, um, I'm not understanding how I don't trust you. I feel like me even coming here, opening this business, was me trusting you, me trusting that you had me. Like, so I'm not understanding. So I had, oh, I'm so excited to tell y'all this. I had this client, and amazing. We have church every time we up in here, and I love it because it's just refreshing for both of us. And so so she had me read 2 Kings chapter 4 verses 1 through 7, and I did like a Bible study, like an actual Bible study on that. And so with that Bible study, it's about the widow that just lost her lady that just lost her husband, so she's a widow now. And the prophet Elisha, oh no, she says that she doesn't have them. I kind of gotta paraphrase because I don't remember it verbatim because I haven't read it in a minute, but she tells I think Elisha, I don't want to say it wrong, but I feel like she tells the prophet Elisha that she doesn't have the money to pay her taxes, and so she was gonna give up her 2 sons. And y'all read it for yourselves, okay? Because I don't want to tell y'all wrong. Don't ever take what exactly I say verbatim. Read it for yourself and then get your own revelation from it, because the Lord will give it to you. But I would say he told her to go out to everybody as much as she can, go get as many of these vessels, jars, as she can, as many as she can. So if she wants a lot, get a lot. You get a little, you get a little. So she went out and got all these vessels, and he told her, because all she had to pay her taxes was this one cup of oil. And so that's when he told her to go out and go get them and use the oil that she had and just pour in these vessels until there's no more vessels. And like, it was just, she was pouring and pouring and pouring and kept pouring until there was no more vessels. So he told her to use those vessels to pay off her taxes, and her boys can live off of the rest, right? So with that, I went into actual studying, and I use the enduring word when I actually am like doing a Bible study, because it has commentary for just about every verse. So I went into that, and it was one part of it that said that Elisha could have done it for her, like could have went to go get the vessels for her, could have poured the oil for her, could have done what he was telling her to do. He could have did it for her, but he told her to do it because he wanted her to show her trust in God. And so I'm like, oh, that's beautiful, right? So I and that's the main thing I remember. So now when I'm going and when I do a Bible study, I'll like summarize how this part of the passage like speaks to me, or either I can apply it to my life, more so apply it to my life, but kind of all of that. So I go and I'm writing it down, and I was just I was like that I was about to type, I believe that God, and so I feel like God stopped me and was like, trust. So I was like, trust, believe. I'm like, bro, they 2 different things. 2 different words, 2 different meanings that I'm about to explain to y'all. Okay, so this is exactly what, because trusting and believing is 2 different things. And I know my mom always would say to me to trust and believe. And I'm like, yeah, so, but when I'm thinking believing, I'm saying I trust him as well, right? So trust is having the confidence in someone's integrity and relying on their honesty and responsible behaviors. It involves a continuous state of having faith in someone, typically as the result of previous experience. On another hand, belief is more about being convinced of the truth and or accepting of something. So when I started to think of trusting, I started to think on like I can rely on God. That's how I kind of like flipped it a little bit so that I could understand and hear what it means to trust. That means to rely. I can rely on God to do what he said. I can trust him, right? And when I got that revelation, I said, yo, this whole time I'm saying I'm believing, I'm not trusting him. And the reason why I feel like I wasn't trusting him, because I had to look this up too. I'm like, why is it so hard for me to trust? Why is it hard for me to trust God? So I looked that up, and it was just saying that like you just feel like you need to have the control. Like I felt like I had to do something for me to pour and put clients in my chair. I had to do something. Well, I'm gonna say I had to do something more, because obviously I have to do my part, right? But I felt like I had to do something in order for God to do what he said he's going to do. It's like, but this isn't a transactional relationship. God is going to do what he said he's going to do. I just have to be open and obedient to what he's telling me to do. And it was like, okay, so I'm going to start. Said all that to say, when I had these two bills, right? I had enough money for one. I had one due on Tuesday, one on Friday. I could have just left that Tuesday one alone, caught that little fee or whatever, and paid my rent, because obviously my rent is important, because I need to pay my rent in order to be able to stay here. So I'm like, Lord, I'm going to pay this credit card bill, and I'm going to trust that you are going to provide for the rent. And I left it at that. And then, so like I said that, I did that. And I was just telling my mom, because I was just frustrated, honestly. But I'm thinking maybe God is going to like drop an appointment on my books that is going to help me to be able to pay for it. But he ended up he put it on my mom's heart to pay, right? But I didn't like that. I was like, Lord, I didn't want you to do that, because I don't want my people to feel like they have to help me. I don't feel like I don't want people to, if they're like having challenges, like financial struggles themselves, I don't want to put that burden on them too. Like I don't like that. And so this is when I reached out to my business mentor, old boss, that in October, and she was saying that like, yes, it's a perspective thing, because yes, it may not have looked the way that you wanted it to look, or he may have not done it in the way that you thought you wanted him to do it, but he did it, because my mom didn't have to do that, first of all, or she had the money in order to do that. So she could have not had the money, and I would have been backed up with bills, or she had it and was willing. And so I know that God is going to bless her tremendously for that, and I can't wait to be able to be that blessing for her. I cannot wait. But she was just saying it's a perspective thing. And then she also offered me to be able to still help her at her shop, and that especially in the meantime, because I wasn't having a lot of appointments, and it was that slow time for service providers. If you're a service provider or entrepreneur, you know them slow times around the holidays. And so that's when it was, and she was just giving me all this advice, like knowing when, like how to like change up some stuff. You may have to pivot a little bit around those times, but just blessed to have her in my life too, to help me to like look at it in a different way. But yeah, so that, and then even in that morning I was doing a devotional, and it was talking about how Moses was like that he could not handle all those people by himself, again, read word, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember this stuff verbatim, but it was like Moses was just like, Lord, I can't do this all by myself. So he sent people to help him, right? I don't want to say sent. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I just know that he ended up getting help because he told God that he needed help. So not realizing that I had a pride issue. Like, I was proud to say I can do it on my own. I was proud to say that I don't need any help. That's pride. If you are struggling and you're not asking for help, you have a pride issue. And you need to allow God to strip you from that, because you are not going to get anywhere thinking that you can do it on your own, because what the hand can do, the foot can't. What the foot can do, the head can't. Like, it's the whole body. Like, your whole body has its own functions, just like a puzzle piece has its own pieces. The middle piece cannot be the edge piece cannot be the bottom edge piece. Like, it's not. You need help. We need help. We don't do life alone. That's what we say in my church. We do not do life alone. And the enemy tries to isolate us because he knows it's power in numbers, it's strength in numbers, and it's strength in the kingdom. And we are so much stronger than the enemy. The only way the enemy has any type of power is if you give it to him. Jesus has already given us the power to step on the serpent's head, and for you to fall into doubt, to fall into distrust, to fall into disobedience, to fall into lust, and to fall into these things and accept it and start practicing those things, that's when you're wrong. That's when you're out of order. That's when you need to renew your mind. That's when you need to repent. But I don't even remember what I was talking about. Lord help me. So, dang, I don't even remember what I was saying, but just know, the pride issue. Yeah. So the pride issue that I had, I realized that I could have let the Lord humble me when I lived on my own. Instead of just like eating out all the time, I could have made food at home. I did every now and then, but I didn't all the time. I probably ate out more than I ate in. And so, then I got myself in this financial rut that I'm paying for now. I'm much more level-headed now, but before, especially the first 6 months of me opening this business, I was so mad at myself for getting myself back into this financial rut that I got myself out of back in 2020. 2020, I had a great savings year. I had a great, I paid off debt, and I didn't have crazy debt either, but I didn't pay off my car though. But the car don't even matter. But personal loans, credit cards, all of that was done. Paid them off, zero balance. Baby, zero balance. I owe nobody but Virginia Credit Union. But for my car, and I still do. But anyway, that was it. And so with me getting myself back into this financial situation that's worse than I'm seeing, it could be worse. And I am grateful for the situation that I'm in, that it's not worse than what it is, because I'm able to afford it. It sucks. And I wish that the money that I'm paying, these credit cards, Capital One and loans and stuff, I pray it's just one loan, relax. But if you add my car, but personal wise, it's just one. So I don't want y'all thinking I'm over here just, even if y'all did, I don't care. But paying these people back, and I'm over here, so I was writing out these things, and I was always so knowing how much I'm making, how much is going out, how much I have to spend, all of that. So when I ended up doing this thing on my own, I don't know how to pay myself, for one. 2, I don't know nothing about taxes. 3, I don't know what I'm doing. It was hard for me to keep up with the money coming in, and I know that's probably a good problem to have, but it's not a good problem, because you want to make sure that you're staying on top of your finances in order for you to steward it correctly and in a way that's pleasing to the Lord. So that was a struggle. I really could not handle tithing either. I was a huge tither. I'm still a huge tither. I'm a seed sower, all of that. And I believe in that, and it's showing that like the word works when you work the word. And when he talks about finances and sowing seeds, he gives seed to the sower, and so that I'm seeing the fruition of that. But I would say that it was hard because I just could not grasp it. And I know that God is always by my side. He can help me to like and guide me, I know. But it's also some things that I still needed. I struggled with myself. I'm not saying it's God's problem. It wasn't God's fault, it was mine, because I allowed myself to get back into that. I was ignoring the Holy Spirit telling me to eat at home, like, or knowing that I couldn't afford it. I just pulled out the other credit card I ain't used in a minute. Oh, this ain't got no balance on it. Let me go ahead and use this, rack that up. So here I am, paying off 2 credit cards and a loan, and I'm over here like, yo, the money that I'm putting towards these people makes me so angry at myself. The fact that I got myself back in this place, I could not stand. I was so mad. Every month when I'm paying these people, I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Like, I literally was so angry at myself. I was so mad at myself. And so I had to learn to forgive myself again and again and again and again. Like, I also had to, like, because I couldn't save. I was not able to save. But then this is another, like, a little point. When I used to work at Wells Fargo, and so I always had like this financial advice. I was getting everybody financial advice at my other job too. Like, people, and this is just in general too, people want to be like, y'all see these savings challenge for like $10,000 in 6 months. Baby, you don't make if you don't make $10,000 in 6 months in general, you're not saving $6,000 in 10 months. I'm just saying, like, that's not gonna happen. You gotta be realistic. You gotta be realistic with your savings. You gotta be realistic with your budget. You cannot sit there and take on this challenge that you're saving $10,000 in six months. It's not possible. It's not possible for some. I mean, it may be for some, but sweetheart, do what you can do. So, just throwing that out there. So when I was like, nah, I need to start saving something, like something. So what I did was just like, with what I was making and what my clients were paying, I was like, I'm gonna just take $5 out of each appointment that I have and just save that. So if I had 2 appointments that week, $10 I'm saving. If I had 5 appointments that week, do the math because I don't want $25. Save $25 for that week. Sometimes I even had like 8 clients, and I'm like, okay, it's like a little $40 that I could just, put to the side, and it started adding up. And then so I was tithing, making sure that I'm tithing, making sure that I'm doing what I can, sowing seeds that I can, and saving and doing that, and like seeing all of these things coming to fruition. It's just like, God, you are so good. You are so faithful. Like, it makes me, like, when I know that I'm like struggling, like even right now, I just took my car up to get my battery cleaned off because they said a couple weeks ago when I went to go get an oil change that I need to clean my battery. I need air filters, all of that stuff. So the next time I come there, now I need new brakes. I'm gonna need new tires soon. Like, I'm like, God, I can tell you, I was so frustrated because I'm like, yo, it don't matter. It doesn't matter what I do. It's always something with my finances. Always something with my finances. And I'm like, I'm trying to get myself out of this thing. And I was just like, you know what? Like, of course I was frustrated. I was crying just because it's like, it was just frustrating. I wasn't really mad. I was just frustrated, I would say. So I'm over here just like, I'm tired, bro. I'm tired, God. Like, I'm so sick of it. Because I'm finally getting it. I'm finally getting back in my routine, right? Like, I was on top of 2020. Oh, baby, I saved like $10,000. And which is so crazy because that year, everything was shut down. Nobody was making no money. I had one job still, barely even working, being able to save. Because, I mean, the stimulus checks and all that stuff. And I left Wells Fargo. They gave me my PTO over. Like, I had money coming in, but I saved it. I didn't touch it, right? But that's a whole other story. But I was able to save. I ain't gonna say 10,000. It was like I saved 10,000 like 2 months after that. So either way, I saved a good amount of money, and I ain't saying that to brag. I'm just saying that's just something that like I know that I can do. I know I can handle my finances. Like I know I can do that. But when I thought about it too a little bit ago, that was like pride for me, right? Like that was something that I did. God is showing me, nah, this, you can't do this on your own. This is something that I'm doing. Like your hands ain't nowhere on this. Yeah, he's just using me as a vessel because I want to be a blessing to others as well. That like he needs vessels. He needs willing vessels to be able to do his work in the earth. So I say all that to say, again, say what you can. I don't remember what I was at. Gosh, I hate when I do that. I hate it so bad. But I just, I was so frustrated. Yes, I was talking about my car because I was just like tired. But in the midst of all of that too, I was just like, but God, I trust you. God, obviously I saved this money because I'm going to need it. You save it for things exactly like this. This is why you save money, because I could need new brakes and not have the money for new brakes. But I have the money for new brakes because I stewarded what I needed to do. I did what I needed to do months ago, just in case something happens. And I have it. It's like, God, I thank you for that. And I thank you for restoring. I thank you for restoration. I thank you for resetting. I thank you for just even giving me a peace right now that even though I have to give up this money, that you're going to bring it right back in. Because you give seed to the sower, Lord, and I'm praying and I'm just asking you for peace in this time that the enemy is trying to use to make me doubt you. And Lord, you've shown me time and time and time again that I can trust you. Your track record shows that I can trust you. Your track record shows that you're faithful. And it's just like the enemy will do whatever he can. That's why Paul tells us that we need to know, be aware of the schemes of the enemy. He puts us in these cycles, and it's a financial cycle that he tries to put me in, but I rebuke every assignment of the enemy when it comes to my finances. Like, it doesn't matter. Stuff happens. But you're not going to make me feel like I'm broke anymore. You're not going to make me feel like I don't have it. I'm never going to say I don't have it. I'm just going to use wisdom for how I'm stewarding the funds that are coming in. There's going to be a time and a place where I'm able to travel as much as I want to. I'm be able to spend as much as I want to. But that doesn't mean I'm going to. I'm just saying I'm going to have a place. I'm going to be in a place where I'm not going to have to struggle. I'm not going to have to want for nothing. Yes, we're going to go through our trials and tribulations and stuff. That's just because that's what happens. But I'm in a place now that no matter what happens, God is still good. I'm telling you, no matter what happens, God is still God. God is still good. We have to just remember who God is and not only what he can do for us. Yes, he has taken me out. Y'all remember my testimony from like I said, if y'all are new, go listen to season 1, especially 1 and 2, episodes 1 and 2. Go listen to those. And for me to be where I'm at today is just a testament to God's faithfulness. And when you really allow God to do what he said, to clean you up, to take away your desires of worldly things, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect. We are all sinners. I sin sometimes, like especially when I'm angry. I try so hard. I'm working on it, and I'm not the best at it, but I'm doing much better. Because even with that situation with my car and the money, normally that would make me like, bro, like then it's gonna make me feel like I'm broke again. But I'm not broke because I know who I belong to, and I know who provides for me, and I know the source. Everything else that we have is a resource. So if those resources crashes, the source doesn't. The source is always going to be the source. The source is always going to be able to provide and give you back tenfold of what you lost. You think of Job and how God allowed Satan to take those things from him, but Job still, I gotta read a book, don't quote me, but Job still praised God in the midst of all of it, taking his kids, taking his whatever, all the things that he had, He took it all. God allowed Satan to take all of it. But look at Job's heart. God is after our hearts, man. Like, that's why when I talk to people or something, and like they're saying so, I'm like, just pray for their heart. Pray for their heart. That's what God is after, because when your heart changes, your posture changes, the way you think changes. That's why we have to renew our minds. We don't conform to the patterns of this world. We need to renew our minds every day, all the time. I have to always, like, deep breaths. Lord, help me, because I struggle too. I struggle daily with saying certain things or doing certain things or not doing certain things. Like, just even this is getting me out of my comfort zone, just being on camera and just putting myself out there, because, like, I'm so worried about what people are saying. But it's just like, but the people that this is for is who is gonna attract, and the people that it's not for, if you listen, if you do whatever, hopefully you get something out of it. Like, this isn't for me, this is for the glory of God. And I am excited I'm grateful, I'm thankful for that God did not shut the door on this opportunity for me to be able to just talk to y'all. There's so much more that I want to talk about. There's so much more we are going to talk about. So I just pray that hopefully that you got something out of this video, that you or this episode, that I'm grateful. I'm excited. And if there's anything that, normally I will go off of like the things that God puts on my heart to talk about, which I'm going to do. But if there's anything that y'all like want me to talk about, bring up, whatever, let me know. Y'all could DM me on Instagram. Yeah, just let me know, because normally I used to not, because I'm like, I don't know about that, but now I feel like I'm in a place where God is just allowing me to just flow and get out of my own way and stop trying to strive for perfection. We need to strive for holiness and excellence and obedience. And that's the season that I'm in, and I'm so excited. Yeah, so your girl is back. I'm back. I have so much more things to talk about, and I guess I'm gonna just go ahead and end this episode. Yeah, just pray that this actually spoke to you, that you got something out of it, that you just continue to look to God, always seek the kingdom first, before anything. And yeah, girl, we back. I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Bye.